Hello ladies and gentlemen, today I'm going to demonstrate why you need Rhino. And to do that I'm going to defeat, or at least try to defeat, one of the hardest bosses in the game by myself. So this is the Pluto system, which is, and this boss is rated for levels 39 and 55. And the warframe that I'm going to be using to do that is Rhino. And this is going to showcase some of his abilities and some of his tanking abilities. So right off the bat, I'll show you what the screen looks like. This is sort of like the selection of mods that I generally run on almost every warframe. I just take them out and put them in other warframes and go from there. So I've all his abilities maxed out. Though you can, if you're really, trying to optimize Rhino, you can do without maybe radial blast and Rhino charge, just because those abilities kind of like fall off towards later end. Radial blast still does substantial damage. Rhino charge, on the other hand, I don't see why you can't get rid of it. You can probably polarize it and use this slot for something else. Maybe I'll right now I don't have anything that I think I can put in that won't exceed the energy cost. Let's just make sure that that's the case. Streamline maybe, but well, why not? There we go. So I've taken out Rhino charge as well, put in streamline just so we use less energy when we're dealing with the boss, and hence can get a lot more, execute the other abilities a lot more time. So this is the build that I'm gonna go with. You can actually use one of the formulas and actually polarize the slot for something else, and that might help you even optimize the build slightly more. Before I go, so I've maxed out all his 3 abilities because they are very important. Fast deflection, very underrated mod. Many people forget that your shields have to recharge at some point. So having something that increases your shield recharge is very good. Makes you standing in cover a lot less. You stand in cover for not that long, and especially when you're pop iron skin to sort of like get your shields back up. That will help in that case as well, since your shields recharge a lot faster, so you don't have to stay in iron skin for as long. Armor 50% increase, that I'll always take, just because Rhino's innate armor is a lot, so adding 50% to that is huge. I've added about 200% health. He needs it just because he gets a lot of buff in his shields, but not nearly enough in his vitality, and you want to have a large health pool, at least 500 plus health, or else you're really kind of like pushing it. You'll get rained down super fast when you're not paying attention. This skill I'm not gonna go in, mod I'm not gonna go into. You can switch or use whatever mod you like. And the redirection, 200% shield capacity, again good for tanking damage. Flow is a very good mod to have, just because the more energy you have, the more times you can actually pop your abilities. So continuity I also like on warframes that have duration effect. Iron Skin is one, and Rhino Stomp is the other ability that have duration effects in this. So yeah, that's my build. Let's go look at the weapons. So this is the heck that I currently use. It's one of the best shotguns in the game. As you can see, there's some that I have not actually maxed out. I might max out multi-shot, but that's gonna require at least 30,000-40,000 credits. It's a very it was very painful to get it to level 4. So Ravage, excuse me, critical damage is another really good mod to have on the shotgun. One other thing is, I will definitely polarize one of the slots here, and so I can accommodate at least one of the elemental effects within the shotgun as well. And I'm thinking I will go with shotgun freeze, just because like when you're trying to run away from somebody, it's very helpful if you can shoot something and slows it down, just because he's not gonna run away from anything, as you'll see. And most of the time, you know, as Rhino, if you have to do that, then it's very desperate. And plus, like, you know, this helps you decrease shields a lot faster. At least that's what the wiki says. I have no idea. I've not really tested it myself, so you can take that part with a grain of salt. But this one is purely up to you. I'm not gonna say one way versus the other. I've removed you know, ammo stock magazine capacity, just because it starts with about 4 shells, and unless you want to get the shotgun capacity to about 100%, you know, or up there, you know, it's not going to affect how much shells you have fairly a lot. Tactical pump is a lot more important, just because you will, with 4 shells, you're going to be reloading a lot, so, you know, it's better to have reload speed over large ammo capacity, just because I think if with the smaller magazine sizes, it's this one is a lot more useful to have than this, because it's a percentage of your magazine increase. It's not a flat increase. So yeah, that's why I prefer this over the ammo stock. Point blank increases your shotgun damage. This mod is maxed. Armor piercing, of course, you want to have this, just because you know, damage kind of like decreases, because the armor on some of the later well, I don't know specifically whether they have more health pool or whether they have more armor, but it seems like they have both. So that's why I took armor piercing onto my shotgun, and of course critical chance and multi-shot. And so that's for the shotgun. Now as far as secondary is concerned, you know, I'm gonna, you know, I was trying to level up the kunais, but let's see. Since we are going to be dealing with the corpus specifically, I'll take the AK Boltos. I think those are extremely overpowered pistols in this game. So first off, barrel diffusion multi-shot, that is just, you know, a no-brainer. You know, I want to put in Hornet Strike for increased damage. Increases your damage by 100%. Multi-shot increases the multi-shot by 100%. Next I want to, you don't want to put armor piercing on them just because they innately have armor piercing, so that you can use towards something else. Pistol Gambit, obviously, quick draw, quick draw, and magazine slip, magazine capacity by 25%, I don't really care about that. Target Cracker, you know, increase critical strike damage by 50%. As you can see, this polarity is very useless apparently, as I'm building this even more. So yeah, these are the sort of like the main ones you want to have. You know, maybe I'll just put, you know, armor piercing just for, you know, giggles on this, but, you know, just to see like whether it does anything or not, just because I don't think there's anything else that I really want to put on this. Maybe this convulsion, but yeah, so that's my build with this. You want to have a quick draw, just because you know, you want to, you know, cycle through your not ammunition, sorry, you want to cycle through your what's the word? I'm actually blanking out. Okay, so you want to cycle through your magazines as quickly as you can, so, you know, you can put up you know, a high rate of fire. I actually took convulsion out and maybe put more maximum ammo, just because, you know, these pistols fire really fast and have a tendency to run out of ammunition. I would maybe switch this polarity with the Forma. Maybe I will do that once further down the line, and actually make it so that I can put one of these for sort of like mods over here, and maybe max out convulsion and then put it over there. So that's would be the optimal build. As you can see, I'm really low on credits. It'll take a lot of time before I actually get to do that. Alright, so next up, what do we have? Lastly, I go with the Fragor. Fragor and Skindo, many people ask me, you know, what, or actually not many people. Well, a lot of my friends are kind of like torn between getting the Giant Hammer or the Giant Axe. I tell them both are equally good, you know, unless you have... Graham is another really good you know, sort of like the heavy weapons, in the melee weapons in the game. I like Fragor just because it innately has armor ignoring properties. You know, especially against the Grineer, that will be really effective. You know, and also the fact that it looks badass, that also helps its case. Skindo would not be a bad choice in this case anyways. You can get the Skindo and it performs fairly well. But I'm gonna do this run with the Fragor just because I think I want the armor ignoring properties of the hammer more so than I want the slashing damage of the axe. So with this build, let's jump into the assassination. Now, I've not done this mission because apparently the last boss drops Excalibur parts and I have not needed Excalibur parts just because I had Excalibur Prime when I paid for one of my founders packs. So like you and both of all of us are in for okay, let's let the lady talk. Alright, so it's gonna be an adventure for the both of us, and right off the bat I get hit in the face. I get smacked in the face by these cameras, who I absolutely detest, because that time I didn't even see, although I should have expected it after playing like these Corpus missions as many times as I have. Wait, I hear feet. Where is it? Oh, it's over there. Okay, let's see how effective the pistols are. Okay, pistols are effective, but let's switch back to the shotgun, because I don't want to take chances now. And this is why you want the hack. I just beast all of them in one shots. And I'm like, oh, run little drone, run. Sorry drones, I hate you with a passion. Alright, so who's left? Let's try the pistols again. Oh, hello, sir. All up in my face. I think the kunais are extremely overpowered from what I have looked. Even with a couple of mods that I have installed, they seem to be doing a lot of damage. You know, which is insane. I can't even imagine. Then they have dual polarities, which is extremely nice to have. You can you know, with dual polarities you need a lot less energy, and then you can subsequently put more mods of higher, which are a lot more upgraded. And I'm slowly moving my way up. I don't want to jump in just because, you know, they're aiming for my pet, and I don't want it to die just because. I'll make a video about the pet at some point. They're extremely good utility tools to have. They'll increase your you know, longevity of your character and get you off from certain death situations a lot of times. Okay, who are you? You want my attention? You have my attention, sir. Now get one shot at and now sit down. Alright. Let's move on. Okay. So yeah, I think this weapon is the best in the game, and that's why I think it's like level locked. It's level 4. You have to be level 4 before you can actually use the shotgun. I basically recently just optimized a lot of the mods that I had on this gun. I actually didn't optimize it before just because, you know, I was doing enough damage, but then I was like, well, I'm telling everybody, you know, why to get the shotgun, but I haven't really, you know, showcased why you should get the shotgun. And one of the other reasons that you want to get the shotgun is look at the ammo count I have. I mean, even with shooting this gun as much as I have, you know, I'm still near. Well, actually, I'm almost at full ammo capacity still. That's one of the best things about carrying the shotgun. Rifles are also, assault rifles are really good too. I mean, they have they have a lot of ammo drops, so not I just I don't know where I was going with that one. Yeah, so they have a lot of ammo drops too, so they're not that bad. I would probably not pick like sniper rifles in particular. The reason for that is that their ammo drops are one of the rarest in the games, and stop shooting at my pet. It's almost like the AI says, oh, I can kill him, might as well kill his pet, which just annoys the hell, annoys me to no end. Alright, so I think I'll finally pop my ability just because I don't want to take a chance with this guy. He seems to do a lot of damage. And so what Iron Skin used to do previously, before they actually changed it, is that as long as it was on, you were invincible. And that's just insane. What they've changed it now too is that now it's different. It absorbs a flat amount of damage, so from a flat amount of incoming damage. So Rhino is not as tanky as it used to be. I mean, previously what we used to do is like, you know, in groups, one of my friends who did have Trinity Warframe, and that's sort of like the support Warframe in the game. You know, very useful. I haven't used it much, so I can't comment on her abilities. And one of the support warframes in the game, and so he would pop energy vampire onto one of the on the bosses, and I would just, you know, attack the boss and just regain energy so fast that I would basically never come out of Iron Skin altogether. So I would just stand next to him and tank all the damage, while my team just stood in the back and you know, sort of like just hammered away at the boss. And this we only did because we had sort of like you know, very low tiered characters. I did not have the heck then, you know, and you know, we were just, I'm still madly in love with this game. You know, I can't imagine playing any other game, honestly, or spending as much time with any other game. And the good thing is that the developers are adding new content. You know, the dojo thing I love, even though I myself, I'm not in a clan of any sort. I'm also not in a hurry to join one, just because you know, I don't know, I mean, clans are good, but my experience from them has been sort of like a mixed bag. And yeah, unless a large part of my friends kind of like join a clan, I'm not going to. You know, I might start one at some point, but it kind of like doesn't, you know, right now nothing's like encouraging me to do so. One thing I did learn from my friend is apparently you get, you know, I didn't even know this because I did not read the last patch notes as you know, closely as I should, that apparently you can get weapons now from the dojo if you're careful. Oh, if you can construct a lab or something. And I was like, what? Nobody told me that. And so, well, of course the developers should, you know, always ask me before they make any of the patches. I'm just kidding. So yeah, I didn't know this. So I mean, apparently you could craft new weapons, but I already have like so many weapons that I, you know, use, and I don't know. I mean, I'm not in a hurry to do it, to be really honest. You know, though, people are talking about the fact that I am level, you know, 7, so one of the few people on any clan who would be able to use one of these weapons which are crafted. Sorry. So yeah, but you know, come on. I already have like weapons that I want to farm and use, and one of the ones that I can't seem to get a hold of is the Stalker's bow. I mean, I saw my friend use it. I was like, I gotta have it. And the Stalker, whenever he comes to like, you know, attack me, like just drops nothing. Like I beast him like every time. I actually beasted a level 70. I actually beasted a level 70 Stalker, and still he didn't drop anything. I was so disappointed. I think one of the next projects on my list is just getting my sort of like warframes up there in like damage and utility. Just because I think almost everything else I have maxed out. So, oh, there he is. Okay, let's clean up this little... Let's not take the boss head on just yet. Yeah, I hate you. Oh, okay, I'm not gonna take you on head on. Let's actually kill your minions first. Okay, you don't seem to be that difficult, but I'm not gonna stand next to you and take a hit from you. And this is why you want to have some sort of... uh-oh. I'm gonna just pop Iron Skin just because I don't know what the hell happened there. So, just to be safe. Oh, he pulls me to him. Oh, that's interesting. But as you can see... Okay. Yeah, the boss is somewhat underwhelming. I thought you would do mad amount of damage just because... I know the... What is it? The mini jackals? God, they are... The mini jackal is so bad. Like, I tried to... Like, one of the first time I actually went to kill him, he actually one-shotted me just because, like, his... he launches those rockets, and if they hit you, you basically, more often than not, you won't have enough health to kind of like do anything about it, and so you get one shot like super fast. Okay, let's clean up these mini people. But yeah, I mean, this is a showcase of what the Rhino can do for you. I basically took the the highest level, maybe not the most difficult boss in the game, and basically beasted him without actually having any help. Of course, the shotgun plays a huge part in that. Obviously, I didn't do it but that's why you want the shotgun, you want this warframe. These two combinations by themselves are insane. And I am going to make this choice very difficult for you, all of my friends, because I think I will make the next video I'm thinking of making is about Frost, and Frost is another insane warframe to have. Arguably, he and Rhino are one of the best warframes in the game. You can pick a favorite, honestly. I'd rather that you get both. I'm gonna pop Iron Skin at this point just because I just saw my shield just get reduced to 0. So thank you for the energy. And oh, where are you going? Don't care. Gonna pop Iron Skin again, and just gonna kill that guy over there. I'm just gonna run in between cover just because I'm not gonna take any more damage than I need to. You can run, the running speed on this warframe isn't that good. So yeah, I don't know. I think they're just coming out of like a wormhole, and they're just gonna keep on spawning here. So I am kind of like sick and tired of just killing them. So let's move on to better things. So yeah, I mean, this guide should help you sort of like farming, especially if you're farming warframes. Rhino is one of the better warframes just because like Frost, is very good, but then he is like really far down sort of like the food chain. You're not gonna get to him anytime soon. I didn't even get to him like right off the bat. And so the best thing to do is to actually get Rhino and then farm for Frost, in my opinion. And why choose? Why not have both? So, and I'll make a video similar to this for Frost, just because Frost is an amazing warframe. I mean, he's probably my one of my favorite warframes, just because he brings tons of utilities to any team that he is in, and he's one of the few warframes who can do a lot of these things by himself. If I had to say one versus the other, or actually, sorry, if I had to point out like any flaws in between both of them, is that Rhino is not nearly as good when it comes to like farming defense missions as Frost seems to be. And so yeah, that's one of the only knocks I think on this Warframe, honestly. Apart from that, okay, I have to kill them fast because apparently they do shit tons of damage to me. Oh, excuse me, pardon my language. So yeah, they do. Oh, come on. Ugh. You can almost see the AI kind of like when he wants to lock you out. You see like everybody just see you and then just start running for the nearest control. And the texture on this one, I don't know why it's... Oh, okay. Ah, interesting. Okay, why don't you just... And so yeah, I mean, again, getting Frost is fairly down the line. You're not gonna get anywhere close to getting Frost anytime soon. So okay, you think the textures are bugging out? I don't know why. I've never seen this, but I guess the game's still in beta, so yeah. You can expect things like this on games who are in full release too. So yeah, not really a huge concern. So yeah, I'm just gonna ignore you. So yeah, okay. I have no interest now in killing you. You're not even dropping like any useful mods that I can use, so I'm just gonna go straight and run for the exit and call this a mission. And so yes, so hopefully I've demonstrated why you want this Warframe. And hopefully some of you are convinced. Some of you are like, I don't know whether I still want it or not. I've heard this Warframe, the X Warframe was really good. I'm gonna post another video tomorrow, hopefully showcasing, maybe showcasing some of the other Warframes that I think are really good. I can tell you right now, the other two Warframes that I think are excellent in this game are Nyx and Frost. Those two are amazing Warframes. I can show you in my, if I go to take another Warframe, that I have most of them. Yep, minus of course Walben, just because I have no idea. I'm just missing one part from him. One part from Frost Prime. So those two Warframes, I don't know when I'll get those parts. I'll start constructing them, but right now I'm not in a hurry, just because Trinity is only level 15 and Manshi's only level 5, so I have something to do until then. Rest, if you can see, I have every Warframe maxed out minus these two. And Trinity, I cannot give you an honest opinion just because I've not played her as extensively. But from what my friend talks about, and he's played this game as much as I have, probably if not more. He loves Trinity. He loves his utility. So that might be another Warframe you might consider. I will ask him definitely one of these days to come and maybe we can tag team one of the other bosses, and he can sort of like go more in depth into what makes Trinity so amazing. But in my opinion, Nyx is just amazing Warframe. Just amazing. Psychic Bolts is one of her least useful abilities. It's a damaging ability, but it doesn't seem to do that much damage, and Psychic Bolts just, I don't know, chase random targets. Chaos is so overpowered. Causes mass hysteria on the battlefield by confusing enemies to attack random factions, and that's just amazing. Just because in a defense mission, if they're really trying to get to the Warframe pod, you can just pop Chaos on everybody, and there's just fighting and start fighting each other, and you can pick them off, one after the other. And Absorb, yeah, I don't know, it's one of the better abilities. It's sort of like an invincibility and a damaging ability at the same time, because if you actually pop it, you don't seem to take any damage. So if you're really in a bind where you don't know, where you need some time to kind of like get your inner shields back up, Absorb is an amazing ability to have. So yeah, Nyx is an amazing Warframe as far as defense missions goes, and whenever I'm doing a defense mission, I generally take her just because it's a very fun Warframe to have. Mind control is especially really interesting. You take control of their ancients, their Grineer gunners, like the other bigger enemies that you face, and basically the other faction does the job for you by killing him. So and the last one that I think is sort of like extremely overpowered. Well, not overpowered. I think like all of them bring different things to the to the battlefield. Not every warframe is the same. Frost is amazing, and I can tell you, like, I would have a hard time trying to get rid of any of these abilities. Maybe Ice Wave, because it doesn't do nearly as much damage in later stages of the game. Freeze, you can just freeze. Like, when I was trying to run away, in that case, from the boss, I could just freeze him in place. I mean, I don't have to run away. He can just stand where he is, and, he can just stand where he is, and I can just, take my time reloading, charging shields back up, blah, blah, blah. Snow Globe, oh, what is not to like about Snow Globe? He basically pops a globe around him, and basically you do not take any damage from incoming fire. Ranged attacks, obviously. If somebody actually gets close enough to enter into the snow globe and attack you, he actually is slowed down. So yeah, that is just amazing ability. And of course, Avalanche, some of the treacherous landslide of ice that instantly freezes and shadows all enemies in its radius. It does incredible amount of damage. Extremely nice in defense missions too, because what you can do is, like, you can just jump on top of the pod and just pop this ability once or twice and just eliminates everything around it, and you're basically saves you the defense mission in many cases. So I will make a video about Nyx and Nyx and Frost at some point. I might do one of the other bosses, just because I don't know whether you want me to kind of like sort of like keep on doing the same bosses. I think the other difficult boss that I faced was the one that I had to farm. Was it this one? Yeah, let's see. So basically, where was it? Yep. So yeah, so this is one of the other very difficult bosses in this game, and maybe I'll make a video, defeating him with Frost. Nyx, on the other hand, I don't know whether I can beat bosses with Nyx by myself, just because she's very squishy, very weak very weak warframe to take damage up front, and that's one of the downsides to having Nyx, honestly is. But I will try. If I fail, then I guess you can make up your mind in that case. So yeah, hopefully this video helped you in sort of like showing you why you want to get Frost in particular, because it's I'm saying Frost. I make this entire video showing you Rhino and say Frost in the end. Sorry, my bad. I'm slightly new to this, so please forgive my little blunders every now and then. Hopefully I've convinced you to some extent why to get Rhino. He's an amazing warframe. I don't know why a lot of people, when they're talking on the forums, don't even consider Rhino. Like, I've heard all sorts of things like Mag and Volt. Honestly, Mag and Volt are good warframes, but later on they're kind of like one-shot wonders, just because they don't do anything else. Like, they'll pop their last ability and that's all they can do for you. Mag is much more so, in my opinion, useful, just because you can use shield polarize to actually give in defense missions, give the pod some shield, and so in a pinch you can actually recharge the shields for the pod. And Bullet Attractor is an interesting ability, but I don't think these two, Pull and Bullet Attractor, are nearly as useful in late game, especially. Volt, on the other hand, excuse me, my throat's slightly taking a turn for the worst, and I don't know why. Volt, on the other hand, Shock, I don't know, later in the game, not as useful. Speed is useful, but I don't know. If you really want speed to get Loki, I mean, he just runs so fast, it's just insane. Electric Shield, it's good, you can sort of like block incoming projectiles, but then it's not so good at the same time, but just because it seems to me that you can stop some of the damage, but then what to do next. you know, it doesn't really cover you all around. So if somebody's shooting you in the back, you can't really do anything about that one. You know, Snow Globe for Frost is a lot better ability in my opinion. And then Overlord is amazing ability. You know, like Mag's Crush. You know, he just, you know, jumps up, you know, and basically electrocutes everything around him. It's an amazing ability, but that's the only ability out of all these four that I think is somewhat useful towards late game. And so, yeah, all these other warframes, I've played it through all of these warframes, Mine's Banshee and of course Trinity and Woban, who's new as, so I can't formulate an opinion on those three warframes, but from what I've seen, Frost, Rhino, and Nyx are perhaps the best warframes in the game, and they're the most difficult to get for the very same reason. Rhino is much more easier just because the boss is fairly easy to kill by yourself, but then the drop rate on that boss is, I think, just insane, because I had so much trouble getting the last couple of blueprints for Rhino, and I mean that's for a good reason. Rhino is one of the best warframes in the game. You just don't want to hand out, you know, the blueprints for that. Sorry, not the blueprints, for the blueprints for the components for that as easily. So yeah, hopefully this guide has been helpful. If you like what I'm doing, please leave a like and subscribe. You know, if you want me to cover like some other kind of videos, you know, that I'm not talked about, you know, maybe you can leave that in the comment section below, and I'll try my best to get them out there. No promises, of course. I might the two videos that I will make at some point is trying to explain, you know, the pet or the sentinels that and their abilities and what I think is the best sentinel, and for specific reasons, because I don't think any one of them is better than the other. So that should help you sort of like make up your mind if you're excuse me, if you're in the market to get a sentinel, which sentinel to get. And one I'll make about weapons, you know, in particular picking out the best weapons, just because there's so many of them, and if I just go through all of them, do like a review, you know, I will, you know, it will take a lot of videos, and I don't know whether I want to do that, just because a lot of these weapons I'm not, well, I mean, in this I'm almost everything maxed out. Snipertron is a very rare weapon and you can't get it, so you know, that's just you know, I will discount that. You know, all of these weapons are super good at something. This you can't get either, and I just dislike my damage on this gun, even though the fire rate's just insane. But then, yeah, of course, 9 damage, 20 fire rate, and you know, just imagine how many times you're gonna run out of ammo while doing a mission on this one. So I mean, I don't know, I'm not a huge fan. Nothing's like screaming at me to kind of like take a look at it. This, if you're interested, I might take a look at. Those sniper rifles are somewhat more of a novelty weapon in my opinion. If you really want to use a sniper weapon, I'd rather pick that. But there again, I haven't really maxed out these two weapons, so if you really want, I can make a video like that. Sidearms, you know, I have all of them. Don't look at me and say, what? Well, I just played this game way too much for my own good. And a lot of melee weapons, none of them are extremely bad. All of them have their own sort of like ups and downs, and what they're good at, what they're not so good at. So yeah, hopefully you enjoyed this video, you know, and I hope to see you soon. Alright, thank you.